Carnival Corp is the largest cruise company in the world. It has a revenue of $20.9 billion, which it earned last year. Its nearest competitor in the cruise industry is the Royal Caribbean, with a revenue of $10.5 billion, also earned last year. It has over 100 cruise ships operating under various brand names such as Carnival Cruises, the Princess Cruises and P&O Cruises, to name but a few. The cruise industry is a captive audience, as those who love sailing absolutely love sailing. In January of this year, Carnival Corp was trading at $51.90, but now, as of the 31st of May 2020, it's trading at $15.74 and has a PE ratio of 5.83 and a price to book value of 0.44. On a DCF, which stands for discounted cash flow, it's trading at 56% discount to its fair value. So what's there not to like about the company, right? However, sadly for Carnival Corp, since the outbreak of the virus, Carnival Corp has been caught in a whirlwind of this pandemic, both literally and figuratively speaking. Firstly, on the 1st of April 2020, Carnival Corp was downgraded to a BBB rating and was placed on a credit watch with negative implications by Standard & Poor's. Standard & Poor's is the largest credit ratings agency in the US and of course the world, and as part of his reasoning for the downgrade, it stated the following: federal guidelines in the US for social distancing and large gatherings will remain in place until at least April 30, extending the possibility for a prolonged travel and cruise downturn, and the cruise sector will continue to be disproportionately affected until restrictions are lifted and travel can begin. As a result, Carnival Corp plans on issuing at least $3 billion in senior secured notes, $1.75 billion in convertible notes, and up to $1.25 billion in common stock to provide liquidity support this year, given a temporary suspension of operations and an expected net operating loss. Although we believe Carnival can begin to recover in 2021 after a meaningful loss of revenue and cash flow in 2020, a weak demand environment for cruise could result in somewhat depressed EBITDA in 2021 compared to 2019, which would be insufficient to offset incremental debt. Standard & Poor's article goes on to state that they are lowering the issuer credit rating to BBB- from BBB, and that this would apply to the proposed $3 billion senior secured notes, as well as their existing unsecured debts. The next grade down from a BBB rating is BB, and according to Standard & Poor's site, obligations rated BB are regarded as having significant speculative characteristics. In other words, it would no longer be classed as an investment grade bond. This could make it very difficult for Carnival Corp to secure funding in the future. However, they're not there yet. Nevertheless, the credit downgrade is the least of Carnival Corp's worries at the moment, because as we now know, a news article came out on the 16th of April which was titled "Carnival Executives Knew They Had a Virus Problem, but They Kept the Party Going." The article details the events around March 2020 on board the Grand Princess, which also had an outbreak of the virus, with 21 of the first 46 crews testing positive for the virus. An investigation was started by the US Center for Disease Control, also known as the CDC. The CDC's epidemiologist Cindy Friedman said that Carnival should have known better than to send out another cruise, especially after the outbreaks on board the Diamond Princess. She also stated the following: "I have a hard time believing they're just a victim of happenstance," referring to Carnival Corp. Several of the plagued Carnival ships didn't even begin their voyages until well after the company knew it was risky to do so. Nobody should be going on cruise ships during this pandemic, full stop. The article also points out that Australian police have launched a criminal probe into whether the company's Princess Cruises subsidiary misled authorities about an outbreak aboard a ship docked in Sydney, and its Costa Cruises subsidiary is facing multiple passenger lawsuits regarding its COVID-19 response. Then on the 1st of May, a further article was released by Bloomberg titled "House Panel Opens Carnival Probe Over Cruise Ship Outbreaks." The article reveals that a letter was sent by the Coast Guard and the Centre for Disease Control (CDC) to Carnival Corp's president and CEO Arnold Donald. The article accused Carnival Corporation of still trying to sell the cruise line fantasy and ignoring the public health threat. It also revealed that Carnival Corp may have been aware of the threats to some of its ships and did not take appropriate actions, which may have led to greater infections and the spread of the disease. Now, if this allegation turns out to be true, then Carnival Corp is likely to be facing some difficult times ahead, not least because it now faces further potential claims. There is a class action that seems to have been started against Carnival Corp, and several law firms appear to be calling for shareholders who invested in Carnival Corp between January and May of this year to join the petition for a claim against Carnival Corp. One of the class action calls to action reads as follows: the defendants, Carnival Corp, throughout the class period made false and or misleading statements and or failed to disclose that the company's medics had reported increasing events of COVID-19 illness on the company's ship, and that Carnival Corp had violated port of call regulations by concealing the amount and severity of COVID-19 infections on board its ships, and that in responding to the outbreak of COVID-19, Carnival failed to follow the company's own health and safety protocols developed in the wake of other communicable disease outbreaks, and that by continuing to operate Carnival ships were responsible for continuing to spread COVID-19 at various ports throughout the world. And as a result of the foregoing, the defendants' positive statements about the company's business operations and prospects were materially misleading and or lacked a reasonable basis. When the true details entered the market, the lawsuits claim that investors suffered damages. Interestingly enough, as a shareholder in Carnival Corp, I also made contact with one of these companies to see what it is they are actually offering, just as of interest to see exactly how far they're taking this and how many shareholders they're actually reaching out to. So I'll keep you updated, of course, with any news if I hear anything about that. But suffice it to say that it looks rather bleak for Carnival Corp. So if you're thinking of buying shares in this company, and if you think that it's a bargain, then you really ought to think carefully before jumping on board of this ship, as it might just be hiding more than you actually bargained for. And remember once again that this is not financial advice, and I'm not making a recommendation one way or the other in respect of this stock. I'm simply providing interesting information available on the internet for your entertainment. Hope you've enjoyed this article, and please do remember to subscribe. Thank you.